Hey everyone, happy Monday, February 23rd. I'm Endrit Sella, and this is Capital Markets Quickie. Let's jump into what's driving the week ahead. Quick note before we dive in. Today's episode is brought to you by AMF Capital Asset Management Frankfurt. Learn more about our funds and strategies at amf-capital.de. All right, let's dive right in. Now, yesterday was all about setting the stage, and this week it's earnings and politics that are front and center. Investors are laser-focused on results from Nvidia, currently the world's most valuable company, and on President Donald Trump's State of the Union address coming up tomorrow. Nvidia reports on Wednesday, and this one really matters. The company has been the backbone of the artificial intelligence trade, and after striking a very optimistic tone last quarter, investors now want clarity on one thing: how sustainable big tech's AI spending really is. CEO Jensen Huang is expected to talk about demand for Nvidia's specialized chips, which he's previously described as being through the roof, and he may also address the company's access to China. But it's not just Nvidia. We also hear from Salesforce and Dell in tech, Home Depot and Lowe's in retail, and several major Canadian banks. Add to that updates from firms like Snowflake, CoreWeave, Workday, HP, and Dell, and it's a packed earnings calendar. In media, things get spicy. Paramount, Skydance, and Warner Bros. Discovery report amid renewed takeover drama. Warner Bros. Discovery said it reopened discussions around a potential deal after earlier indicating it would accept an offer from Netflix, so markets will be listening closely for any hints. Over the weekend, Berkshire Hathaway also reported, marking the first earnings release since Warren Buffett officially stepped down and handed control to new chief executive Greg Abel. That alone makes the report historically important. On the political side, President Trump delivers his annual State of the Union address tomorrow. This comes right after last week's Supreme Court ruling that struck down a key part of his tariff policy. With economic growth showing signs of slowing, Trump may use the speech to outline next steps on trade, housing market reforms, and tax policy. Meanwhile, several Federal Reserve officials are scheduled to speak this week. With inflation easing but the labor market still holding up, investors are watching closely for clues on where interest rates go next. Fed Governor Christopher Waller, who has leaned toward deeper rate cuts, could be particularly interesting. On the data front, we'll get the Standard & Poor's 500 Case-Shiller Home Price Index, which should shed light on ongoing affordability pressures in housing. And on Friday, wholesale inflation data follows recent consumer inflation reports that surprised economists by cooling faster than expected. So yes, it's one of those weeks. Heavy on earnings, heavy on policy, and very light on boredom. Alright, that wraps up today's Capital Markets Quickie. Join me again tomorrow morning for more market updates. See you then.